I have been happily married for over 17 years. However, this story is about my first wife and how she betrayed my trust. I married my first wife after a one-year courtship. We met through mutual friends and we were instantly attracted to each other. She was fun and extrovert, social and very advertous in the sack, which made for great company and fun times. I really felt I had met my soulmate and dreamed of raising children and growing old together. We both moved in together in small apartment with my Alsatian. He is a faithful dog and I have loved him and raised him from a puppy. I work in the oil industry and there are times when I travel out of state and even the odd trip out of the country. My wife was a full-time nurse and was able to juggle her work commitments with her hobbies, one of which was attending a local fitness gym. A year into our marriage, I noticed on my return from one of my trips that my wife was not as attentive and a little distant. I asked what the problem and she just said that she gets a bit lonely and misses me when I am away. I didn't have long trips, up to 5 days max. Her circle of girlfriends were very supportive and she often went out with them but was always home on time and she avoided getting too drunk or staying out too late. We texted during the evenings. Over the next few months, our bedroom life waned. At the time, I did not suspect cheating or affair, but understood that my work was taking me away, a small sacrifice to pay for our future long-term security and family. It was one weekend when I was browsing our bedroom desktop computer that looked, for no particular real reason, at the browsing history and started to see access to certain sites that were frankly both disturbing and quite alarming. I thought that maybe they were the type of sites that were the product of malware, things which pop up when browsing, so I ran a program just in case to sort out any unwanted virus or malware. Having cleared the history, cache, and run the virus malware check, I thought it was done and never really paid much more attention until a couple of weeks later I checked and again, and exactly the same sites were there. I came to the realization that my wife was for some reason accessing these sites. I spoke to her about these sites and she said that she was browsing certain porn sites and these specific sites were popping up and curiosity had gotten the better of her but realized that they were disturbing. I am not some Puritan who would deny my wife seeking to view porn, but the nature and content of these particular sites were not healthy in my opinion, and she agreed wholeheartedly. I thought we had pretty transparent relationship and did my best to support her happiness. I monitored the browser activity over a couple of weeks and nothing really happened. I assumed lessons were learned and that type of curiosity was gone. She seemed happy and more attentive. I got word of an impending business trip that would take me away for a week. Before I went, I thought I would activate the desktop webcam with some remote software. I thought it would help keep a connection between my wife and I mentioned to my wife that the webcam would be active and we could easily talk at some set times when we both could agree. It felt a little naughty and exciting to be honest, and I thought about how we could connect and chat via video conference while I was away. I also configured the computer for remote access. I had found this helpful previously to access certain files, and this particular software I had could also control the webcam. While I was away, I managed to call her a couple of times and it all worked fine. During the week I decided I would check in during my lunch break. I called the computer but there was no pickup. I was a little concerned as I knew she was meant to be there as it was not a work day, so I accessed the computer remotely and activated the webcam. I could see my wife naked on the edge of the bed with a very excited Alsatian. I could not believe what I was witnessing. I recorded about 5 minutes of the activity and closed down the webcam and software. To say that I was in shock was an understatement. The last 2 days of my work was unbearable. I rushed home and found my wife was on the sofa waiting for my arrival. I asked her if anything eventful had happened while I was away and she just said nothing out of the ordinary. I said, so getting off with my dog is normal. She just looked at me and asked me what on earth I was on about. I proceeded to show the video. She was immediately full of remorse and shame because she was caught, pleading that it was only the one time and she had just got out of bath and it was not what it seemed. Unfortunately, the video was pretty clear and her actions told their own tale. I couldn't look at her and felt complete and utter disgust, the same disgust that I had when I saw similarly aligned websites within the browser history. I told her that this was not acceptable and she had hurt me so badly that it would be better if we separated. She went to stay with her parents. I never showed the video to anyone, and when the divorce was finalized, I told people that we just had differences that could not be reconciled. I lost touch with her when she moved abroad. I simply could not accept the depravity and had to give my dog away. I will never forgive her for the betrayal and abuse of my best friend. TLDR, caught my first wife with my best friend that ended our relationship.